going to cost him at about 1,900 Nigeria. There are so many persons, so many Nigerians in Turkey that are not doing well. Some are in the prison, some are hiding, some are they are on house arrest because they don't have papers and they cannot come out. For goodness sake, if you're in another man's land and it's not working for you, why not find a way to come back and then start your life all over again? But people were spiting this man because when he went when he went abroad, he made enough money. After 8 months, he came back and bought an E-class or a C-class, whatever. He bought a Benz and he was living large. And then he went back to Turkey. Going back, the road closed. Money was not forthcoming, nothing was happening, and the rest of it. So he went broke to the extent that he cannot even pay his rent, he cannot renew his passport, he cannot renew his stay permit, and all those things, they've expired. And once it's expired, you cannot move freely on the road of Turkey. No, the policemen will get you, and when they get you, they will arrest you, put you in their prison. So it's either you sign that you should be deported, or you get a lawyer and pay a huge sum of money for you to be released. And when they are releasing, they will tell you, we don't want to see you in Turkey, find your way and go back to your country. But some, after being released, they still go back into hiding. A whole lot of persons there. This abroad people are talking about, it's not that easy, except you have something tangible you're going there to do. Some will sell their landed properties here, they'll borrow money, gather it and go there just to be paying bills without any income. It doesn't make sense. You must not stay abroad. If it's not working, you come back to your home. You don't pay lots of bills here. You don't pay the kind of outrageous bills they pay there. You don't pay here. Some businesses here, you don't pay tax, but then you pay a whole lot. So please, if it's not working for you over there, come back. We're willing to help you. And so this gentleman said he wanted to come back, and so Nigerians should help raise money for him to come back. That he is good at driving, he can come back and start driving. Or you have the idea that you know how to drive, you can come back and start driving. Why didn't you drive? Why did you run to that place? Okay, fine. You want to come back and you want Nigerians to help you get a car, or to help you come back first and then get you a car so you can start driving. He said he can drive from one state to another. He's very good at driving. Fine. That he's going to stay in Nigeria, drive for a while, work, gather enough money and go to another European country. And people were like, look at this man, you're not serious. You're not even back from the Turkey you went to, and you're begging Nigerians to help you come back to your father's land. You are not even back. You've not even seen the money to come back. You're already thinking of going to another country. Like, who does that? What kind of mentality? You are not back from the one you went to. You're planning to go to another one. Okay, so Nigeria is not good for you, but you want those in Nigeria to raise money for you so you can come back and then gather yourself, go to another country. Why not ask people over there to raise money for you to come back? Why are you asking Nigerians, since you say Nigeria is not good for you? So these are the mentalities that people have. That's why some persons don't want to help those abroad. The same country you are running away from, they are the same people you are begging to help raise money for you to come back. Who will give you money? And you are not yet back. You're already thinking of going to another country, a European country. So when you go to that European country, Nigerians will also gather money for you to come back when things go rough for you. Is that it? I don't think he would have said that part, because that was the only part that spoiled his plea. That was the only part that spoiled his plea. He would have just told Nigerians, please, I want to come back home and start my life all over again. People would have helped. But the moment he said he would stay for a while in Nigeria, gather himself, and then go to another country, a European country, this time around, who will want to help you? Nobody will want to help that kind of person. So please, when we are asking for help, let us be very, very smart and sensible in doing that. Okay, so that's it on that case. Another trending story: the Nigerian Education Loan Fund says plans are underway to introduce specialized software to ensure that students with disabilities in higher institutions participate in the loan scheme. Yes, and the managing director of NELFON, Akintunde Sawyer, made this known during a stakeholders engagement on student loans in Benin City. Yeah, we actually would love that, because sometimes these persons think that they are not inclusive in in their activities of uh, uh, their country. They feel people actually.
Yes, now. Small boy. Like some people thought that day. I did what I told her to. You know, the last time they require something from her. I tell her.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about okay, we just talked about the Natasha case. Now the federal government has announced plans to impose financial penalties Financial penalties on owners of unoccupied buildings as part of efforts to reduce Nigerians' housing deficit. The federal government has announced plans to impose financial penalties on owners of unoccupied land as part of efforts to reduce Nigerians' housing deficit. Now, Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, announced this to newsmen, said property owners who fail to lease or sell their vacant buildings might face higher ground rent charges. I don't think higher ground rent charges is just going to suffice. I don't think that's all they need. Because if you go to places, especially the FCT, I know of so many houses that are not occupied. In fact, the cupboard in those houses, they can use it to build a spider's net. You see houses that nobody has lived in for years. Why not rent the houses out to people on a cheaper rate? Because what landlords are collecting these days, it's really outrageous. But you see vacant buildings, nobody is living there for years. Big buildings, and not only in FCT, other places, even in Delta, you go to some places, you see houses that nobody is living in, but you have people living under the bridge, you have people living in suburbs, you have people living in deserted places, just because they cannot afford the high rent of landlords these days. So I don't think the federal government should just look into those people that have houses that nobody is occupying and then asking them to pay higher charges. What they will pay, they have the money, they will pay. If you confiscate these houses and rent it out to middle people, rent it out to other persons who can afford the rent, make the rent a subsidized rent, so that people can actually have homes over their head. And then look into this landlord increment. Every year landlords are increasing their rent. I have no idea what the increment is for. You will see a building, it's not renovated, it's not nothing is added to it, nothing at all. And then the landlord comes and say, I have increased my rent. Why? Because things have increased in the market. I don't get. A house you built when cement was 1,500 naira. So what increase in the market that you want to, what did you add to the house that's making you increase your rent? So the federal government have to really look into this housing issue, because it is getting out of hand. It is outrageous. Maybe the houses are for some set of persons, I don't know. Then that means people will begin to build a plank on the road and live on the road, since landlords don't want people to live in their houses. So maybe they'll take to living on the road, on the street, and nobody should even disturb them at all. Alright, so that's it for the housing issue. Let's say this NDLEA story. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has intercepted cocaine hidden inside prayer beads and locally made shoes. Well, on this, I would like to bring Onome Tanu in to talk about it, because this one is heavy for me. Like prayer, where they are supposed to go and pray, then you take cannabis, you take cocaine, and you hide inside prayer beads. I don't understand. Is this how low people can go just because they want to make money? When you're supposed to go to pray, you're taking this inside prayer beads. Onome Tanu, good morning first and foremost.
Yes, very good morning to you. I've been following you too. I've said quite a lot as far as the issues are, like trending briefs. Now it's a very major one that has to do with trafficking, drugs. I shared with you sometime, I think the week before last, that the speed at which drugs is actually evolving around around the world
It's
is
terrible.
becoming very astronomical, becoming alarming. You know, and people can go anywhere,
Just to move job.
You
Last week
understand?
it was in sweets, children's
You
candies,
know, candies. and all of
candies,
that.
children's candies,
And this week
Today's
is
prayer
it's
beads.
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 You know, so that's why I
I
said
don't. This is a bead.
people
So how
can
did they do
go-
it? They will
people-
open the bead.
People can go anywhere. Do you understand? If somebody, no, that one, what of the one that they ingest?
See now, this one was last week. Oh,
What of the one that
Candies.
they ingest into their system?
into their system, and then they excrete it out.
And then they spit it out.
But what if it doesn't come out? It bursts in their stomach.
That is the.
It's
that
so
is
risky
the-
because of money.
That is the height. Okay, look at the kidnapping, the issue of kidnapping in was it Enugu State? Look at the young boys that were carried there. Fine, handsome boys. So what am I trying to say? When you see such people outside, you don't know the kind of
business they
that
do.
They come out, the exotic cars, and you don't know what is behind that. Drugs. Let me tell you, 3 hot deals that can strip you to limelight. Right? Drugs. Right? Yahoo.
Internet scam.
Internet scam. Right? And the church running this church business. These are 3 hot deals that are. So if you're not into drugs, you're not into Yahoo, you don't own a church, right? Run your church business. You can never come out. Do you understand?
It is
You know,
astronomical, like you said.
really.
And I don't know
And
where
people come
we are
out
going
every
with
day.
it.
People come out every day with different formats.
Different format too. This
You know.
bead, prayer bead. I don't know. They
What's
want to take it to Holy Land where they are supposed to go and pray.
No, they've not gone there to pray. Some of them have gone there to worship their clothes. Do you understand what they put on? You take it every, from traffic, So
It's all right. Let's see how that
It's-
unfolds.
it's-
Though
it's-
I commend the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. They're actually doing well. So every time they keep coming out with different.
it is just one. Do you know how they even get those people? Somebody
Whistleblowing.
has blown the whistle.
And it's good. Let them keep blowing. So
You
that
understand?
yes, let them keep
Somebody,
blowing.
if not, they are not. The NDNA people are not as astute
But they are
as you
trying,
think they are.
and we'll still give it to them.
You know that inside,
They are trying.
it's not everything the hunter sees inside the bush.
I know.
I've dropped it.
I've dropped it for you too. Okay, let's
Which
talk
one?
about.
See,
Let us congratulate
Lilibet.
our own. I hear you.
Lilibet,
I
let me
hear
tell
you.
you. Let me tell you.
See me after now.
No, let me tell you. Let me give you a very small scenario.
Okay.
I know you know Lagos so well.
Not too well.
Okay, but at least you know Oshodi.
Of course.
Oshodi.
Of course.
There's a railway line that runs through
Of
Oshodi,
course, I know that.
where you have the army barracks.
I know that the FRCN.
Yes, Radio Nigeria.
Yeah, I
School.
went to school
Very
there.
good.
Yeah.
That rail line,
Yeah.
From that rail line, even that where that Radio Nigeria.
Yes.
Don't you
They
see?
sell- they sell stuff
Don't you
too.
see military men on their uniform hanging on the railway line?
No, I've not.
Okay, probably
I
you
haven't
have not.
taken notes.
Yeah, you don't have the heart to pass through. We have lived. I have lived inside the system. You understand? And we see everything on a daily basis. Go to your university.
Okay, we're going to drop it first.
Do you understand? Go
Yes,
to your
sir.
universities, for example.
Yes,
all those
sir.
boys who are in the various calls and all of that. Right? 70% of them are drugs. And you are aware. All the calls from my call down to.
It is drugs that make them misbehave now. When they
But
take
there's
that
still,
drug,
there's still some. No, there's still some that just for the euphoria. Do you understand?
I want to
just for
believe
the
that drug
euphoria.
that makes them misbehave.
No, that's for the euphoria. But you see, when God comes into you, when God eventually says, no, my son enough is enough, my daughter enough is enough, right? You will come out of it. But I
Okay.
tell you, 70% of our citizenry are into drugs, one form of drugs.
You're
or the
right.
other.
You're right. You're right. Okay, so let's congratulate our own. You know, it's not just going to be sad news, sad news, sad news. We don't want to hear sad news. We want something. Okay. So let's talk about award. First Ladies Award. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has emerged winner of the Independent Awards for Best Woman of the Year 2024. Receiving the award at a gala night in Lagos, Mrs. Tinubu dedicated the award to Nigerian women and youths for their timeless contributions to the growth and development of the nation. So that's a congratulations to her. And also, she wasn't the only one that was honored. All the persons who were honored: Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, he emerged Independent Man of the Year. Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State was awarded Governor of the Year, Urban Renewal, while Governor Basi Otu of Cross Rivers claims the award for Economic Transformation. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State received Governor of the Year 2024, Solid Minerals Development, alongside. And then on entertainment, let's see. Yes, in entertainment, Bukumi Adiaga Ilori, popularly known as Kiki. I like that girl. Yeah, she was awarded Social Media Influencer of the Year. And while in business, Chairman of Globalcom Otumba Mike Adenuga was recognized among others in this sector. Yes, I'll actually give it to Kiki. She's one very industrious woman. She's a mother. She's a comedian. She's just a whole lot. She's a dancer. She's really funny. So when it comes to entertainment, I would say yes, she really deserves it. Work well done. So that's a congratulations to her and other governors. And then Governor of Anambra State, Charles Soludo, I would really give it to him because, sincerely speaking, he's been turning Anambra into something else. Recently, you know, this we heard something about these young girls who don't dress very well, who don't dress properly. You know, when they are being or when you see them, you know, either arrest them or caution them to dress well. And since that's happened, girls have been respecting themselves. They've been dressing well. And another one is keeping the state clean. I was in Onitsha last week, and I saw a woman crossing the road. So immediately she crossed the road, she was taking this can mineral. So she finished taking the mineral, she dropped it on the floor and crossed. Hey, the next thing I saw, two guys, the way they crossed the road, ran to the woman. I was even scared. I was like, I hope they are not catching people on the road. I was just looking at myself. Am I well dressed? Because the way they rushed to the woman, you know that something really did happen. And then I quickly moved to a side because it was just behind me. I quickly moved to a side to, you know, check what was going on. And they told the madam, follow us. They took the woman back to the middle of the road where she dropped that can. And they said, madam, pick it. I was like, oh, this is good. Now with this mentality, people will not believe the can could slip the person falls and an oncoming vehicle might cross the person. So many hazards that can could cause. And that can, if you dispose it properly, it can be recycled and used for something else. So keeping Anambra State clean is one thing that Soludo did. That's why I said the award he got, he really deserves it. Another is noise pollution. There was a viral video where he stopped a preacher. The preacher went to the marketplace and put his microphone and was preaching very loud. See, let's be sincere. Sometimes these things are actually noise pollution. You cannot go to the Western world and see a preacher put microphone in the middle of the road and be preaching very loud. You don't see that happen. You go to your church and preach, nobody's going to stop you. And you see, most of these churches, they have soundproof. And the noise doesn't really come out too loud. So Soludo was trying to curtail the noise pollution and management of Anioma Market. Yes, they told these preachers, if you want to preach, use your voice. You can go from line to line, or you pick a line today, because they have so many lines. Pick a line today and preach. But the aspect of bringing your megaphone, increasing it to the highest level, you're singing, you're preaching, you're screaming, people cannot even buy good. No, we don't want it anymore. I'm not going to stop you from preaching, but preach with your voice. Don't bring your megaphones anymore. And that's how it's been. Except there's a general, praise or yes. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I give it to him.
yes.
Seriously.
I think, well, I cannot speak to that because I don't want to be seen to be blasphemy.
It's not blasphemy.
The word of God. Because ordinarily the Bible has allowed that go into the world and preach the word. You see, some of these people.
You say go into the street and preach.
No, but street could be anywhere.
That's why we have churches. Go into the world and preach. That's why we have churches.
So to me, it's just that what I frown against is the timing. The timing. You could say, okay, let me do my preaching in 1 hour. I'll be done, so that I can allow the people to continue
their business.
With their business. If not, if you carry out a census, you will realize that even the market women and men,
they love
it.
Yes, no, they love it.
They love it.
Anything preaching,
they love it.
prophecy, they love it.
Because you see them, as I say, hey, about Jesus. Amen.
Yeah, that's what they're saying now. You can use your.
We they observe probably 5 times in a day. It's a signal. They first of all start by telling you that it's almost prayer time. So those of you who are around the area,
yes,
either you must have been carried away. Do you understand?
Okay,
they call you to
with
order.
that corner, you remember.
They call you to order. Sir, it's prayer time, and you know that from where you are to the mosque is about 5 minutes, and you meet up with the time. There's nothing wrong with that. Even the Catholics are also doing that now. When they do this, they are Angelus.
12.
You don't understand? It's a signal point. When they do the Angelus, for example, within our office space here, you see some of our Catholic faithfuls, use the opportunity to observe. They understand that.
Yeah.
So like I did say, I don't want to speak to it.
Yeah,
but,
that's okay.
I like to drop it there quickly.
All right. So our final congratulations goes to Nigerian Miss Amazing Grace Salami from Greensfield International School, Abuja, as she won the spelling bee in Nigeria. I remember this spelling bee, bringing children around to spell. And she is just 11-year-old. 11-year-old student Miss Amazing Grace Salami won the spelling bee. She defeated 63 other finalists from the United States and international schools in Nigeria. So it's not just Nigeria. She didn't compete with just Nigeria. She competed with 63 other finalists from the United States and other international schools. And this happened yesterday in Lagos. And on that, she will receive an all-expense paid trip to Washington, D.C. to participate in the historic event, as well as $500 spending money, an engraved trophy, Indomie product, a gold medal, and a 1-year Merriam-Webster dictionary subscription worth $10,000.
Did you say $500?
I did though.
Or $500,000?
$500.
That's no money.
It's just for spending for an 11-year-old. What could she possibly buy? No, this is an all-expense paid trip. And all-expense paid trip, they're going to take care of your flight, they take care of your accommodation and your feeding. So you don't really need
there's no way
money.
They accommodate you that they will feed you that.
Yeah, of course, but there's no way. What do you need money for? It's just
You
for
need money
spending.
for a lot of things.
No, for that 11 years. No, let's get it straight. She's just 11 years old. So for that age, she doesn't really need money. She doesn't need money at that age.
At that age.
Yes. What does she want to buy?
Is there anything wrong if she buys a tie for her father?
Buy what?
A tie.
A tie. She can get a tie.
A tie could buy a cologne.
She can get a tie. Could be maybe $1.